Hi, this is Sherry Veronica. Now, this is Patrick King here, and he came on Facebook. I actually thought he was gone from Facebook. Someone told me that he was off Facebook, but anyhow, he was on Facebook talking about a trend that has him uncomfortable. There are too many women in high positions in Barbados, and I wondered if before Mia Motley, when all the other prime ministers were male, if he felt the same way. And as it relates to the president, before it was the governor general, and they were mostly male. I think Nita Barrow was the governor general. She had a 5-year stint, 1990 to 95. But before her and after her, they were all male except now for Sandra Mason. And he's talking about females in power and how it has him uncomfortable. But the females that are in power should not make him uncomfortable because they move like males. Mia Motley, he knows how Mia Motley moves, and Sandra Mason. These are not like girly females that are in power. These females are hard hitting females, and they move like they're the prior people who've been there. They're moving just like them. And he would go to Mia Motley, for example, to get a job. He has begged Mia Motley for a job. I mean, he probably will beg the male counterpart also for a job. He has come to me to borrow money. Patrick King, he's a Christian. He's a Seventh-day Adventist, so I'm sure he will lie about what I'm saying. He's going to deny it, but he came to me personally over the internet, and he was talking about the fact that he was in dire straits and he wanted to borrow money from me. And I mean, did he see me as being in a position that had him uncomfortable? I don't think he was uncomfortable because, once they want money, they try to become very comfortable. He wasn't uncomfortable that I may have had money in the bank. He could have relieved me of some of my money from out of my bank. So when he talks, you have to go back to the genesis of who Patrick King is. Patrick King's mother was killed by his father. Patrick King's mother was murdered by his father. He really did not have a mother figure. He did not have someone to tell him that he needs to respect women. And when they do get their footing in life, you have to be there to assist them, to help them, to keep them going. He didn't have that. Patrick King did not have that maternal love, that maternal backing, that maternal strength. Female is supposed to wrap their children, around them for like 2 years, move around with that child. If you're going anywhere, the only time you take that child off of your body is to go to take a bath. But you're supposed to have that child hearing your heartbeat, somewhere attached to you. He didn't have that opportunity. Patrick King obviously missed a couple phases in his life, and he's holding on to a Bible that wasn't written for him. Now, I think that the scriptures, that it has a whole lot of stuff in there that I like, but it wasn't written for me. It was not written for me. And the God of the Bible is a cruel, cruel God. Everything started out with a war. Everything starts with a war. Okay, so when you're picking up bits and pieces of the Bible and you're picking it apart to stomp on women, you need to be careful with that. You need to be careful with that. Okay, you don't have anything on a woman. In fact, science will say that you are a defective female. That's what science will say, that all males are defective females. Go and look it up. Go and look it up. That's some deep learning and something that you probably will not be interested in, airing in your mind, have your mind aired out with some science. Okay? Females are powerful beings. It takes a lot of energy for females to generate life on this earth. Okay? It takes a whole lot of energy, and females are still standing. Mia Motley, to look at Mia Motley and say that she's a female and there are too many females in power and this playing field needs to be evened out or whatever, he's crazy. He's kind of crazy, because Mia Motley likes the same thing that he likes. Mia Motley likes the same thing you like, Patrick. And Cynthia Bradshaw, she's like a little gangster too, and her family, that Bradshaw family name, you know, to think that you are looking at the females who are in positions, high positions in Barbados, and say that there are too many women in power. They are the most androgynous people that you can see. They are the most, in Barbados, the women in power has some, they teeter. They're teetering on both aspects of what, gender, and I think it is great. It is delightful. It is delightful. You need that. And I suggested to Mia via social media that her cabinet should be all female. All female. So the males that are in there, they could be liking the same thing that females will like if they were straight. I mean, with the DLP, remember when the DLP was in power and people were saying that a lot of them, like 90% of the cabinet of the DLP were, you know, gay. That's what they were saying, that a lot of them were going that way. There's nothing wrong with that in my mind. In my mind, I've never met a guy who didn't have, I didn't see that in. I've never ever been around a guy that I didn't see a whole lot of feminine traits come out of. They have that feminine thing. They try to tamp it down and they try to talk a certain way and move a certain way, but it's there. It's there. It's there. Okay? And with Mia, especially Mia, if you didn't know who she was and you heard her speaking, you would think you're listening to a guy. You would think you're listening to a guy. So he needs to sit down. Patrick King needs to sit down, because no one needs Mia Motley or a female more than he does. No one. And if he's going to say that too many women are in power now in Barbados, how did he feel when the males were in power? Did he feel the same way? And if he didn't, it shows that he has a problem in his thinking. He has a problem with women. He may be a misogynist. He may be. It's a lot of rhetoric. It's what you're hearing coming out of his mouth is a lot of rhetoric. Jason Taylor had the same rhetoric. They're quoting from a Bible that was not written for them. The Bible was not written for you. The Bible was not written for you. Yes, there are a lot of things in there, a lot of written history in there that you can look at and you can say it makes sense, and you can work with it. You can work with it. But the God of the Bible is a cruel, vengeful God. A cruel, vengeful God. And for him to say anything about the females in power in Barbados and not see that he and them are just it's like a lateral move. He behaves like a woman too, all cantankerous. He behaves very feminine, all dramatic and carrying on, you know, with his saucy self. He and the females in power are peas in the pod. He should be seeing himself in them, and they see themselves in him. It's an androgynous type of leadership there in Barbados, and it's all good. It's all good. Okay, Mia Motley needs to fill her cabinet with more females. This is Sherry Veronica.
It is not Elaine with the word of God, and as a believer, I got a duty to call things as the word of God called them. What I'm witnessing in this country, Barbados, is that women are holding on to key top positions in this country in circumstances where for every single female that has been installed in key top positions in this country with a degree or with a master's, equally there's a man up there with one. Men from creation were called to lead, not follow. And what's going on in Barbados is that men are now following.
Help me spread the word about Naked Departure via social media. Subscribe and share to show support and love for our channels.